Let's take a look at simplifying radicals. So for this one, you want to think to yourself, how can I multiply and get 98? And for me, I don't automatically just go, oh, of course it's this times this, right? Nothing necessarily comes to mind, but I do notice that 98 is an even number. So I would start there with dividing it by 2. So I'm just going to write it like this. 2 times, and so 98 divided by 2, I get 49 for that. Okay, those numbers are a little more manageable as I think about what can I multiply to get 2 and 49. Well, 2 is prime. That just means that it doesn't divide by anything except 2 and 1. So 2 is just 2. But 49 I can break down into 7 times 7, right? And so now I have a pair. And when I have a pair of the same number, let me pull up my little image here. So when I have that, I can remember that a pair is a perfect square. And if I have a perfect square, that's what these radicals, those little square root symbols are all about, is finding perfect squares within them and simplifying. So if I have a pair, then I have a perfect square. And so I can say, okay, well, I'm going to circle my perfect square here. And all I have left is that 2, which we already decided doesn't have anything that it can combine with. So the square root of 98 simplified is actually 7 times the square root of 2, because the square root, the perfect square, 49, has a square root of 7. It would be to create a square that is 49 square centimeters. It would have to be 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters. And so that perfect square has a square root of 7. Okay, so square root of 98 would be written 7 times the square root of 2. It would look like this. So these can be complicated. And when you look at it on a calculator, most calculators are not going to give you 7 square root of 2. They're going to give you some long decimal that doesn't, is not what you're trying to get here. You're trying to get the simplified answer. And this is considered the simplified answer. So let's do another one with a little more complexity to it and kind of see what that looks like. So let's go to this one, obviously bigger number, right? So it seems like it's going to be a more challenging kind of problem. And again, you just want to look for something that you can divide it by until you can get to some numbers that you can kind of make a little more sense with. And so, if you divide this by 2, again, it's an even number. So that works out nicely, right? So 784 divided by 2, calculator time, is 392. Well, 392 doesn't ring a bell for me. I'm not thinking, oh, I know exactly what I can multiply to get 392. No. So I'm going to divide it by 2 again, because again, it's even. So that's kind of nice. So I'll bring down this 2, and then this I'll split into 2 times 392 divided by 2 is 196. All right. That's even. I can divide it by 2 again. This is kind of nice. All right. 2 times 2 times 196 divided by 2 is 2 times 98. That looks familiar. 98 divided by 2, lo and behold, is 49. Now, let me make sure I'm not losing any of the 2's here. I want to make sure I've got all of those there. And then this one is 2 times 49. So I've got 4 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 7 times 7, because that's square root of 98. That's what we just did, right? All right. So here I have a pair of 2's and another pair of 2's and a pair of 7's. So square root of 784 is actually 2 times 2 times 7, because these are those perfect squares. The square root of 4 is 2. There's that 2. Square root of the other 4 is 2. There's that 2. And the square root of 49 is 7. And there's that 7. So when we it's my alarm saying it's time to start my tutoring class. So 1 second. When we put that together, 4 times 7 is 28. And the square root of 784 is 28. So these are not simple. I hope that, looking at these is going to be helpful to you. And I want you to keep this in mind. I hate when I mess up. Yeah, when we do radicals, lots of times we mess up. but a mistake is a lesson and not a loss. It sounds cheesy, but it's a really good thing to have in your brain, have your mindset on this idea. So I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.